Hi, I'm Doyle Banks. I'm a coach and I work with people who are ready to make transformations in their lives, whether it's personal life, individually, or relationships, or in their professional lives. I want to share with you today some ideas on how to get in the groove, if you will, or get your new year off to a good start. And we're going to start this week with focusing on your physical being, your body. Now, if you happen to catch my last video, I talked about how to bring your past year to a close, and to do that with what I call a celebrations and mournings ceremony. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, you might want to check that out. It's not too late to do that for yourself if you would like, and it can help you kind of tie off any loose ends you might have from the past year, let go of whatever needs to be let go, and kind of clean the slate, if you will, for the year ahead. So let's turn our attention now to starting out the new year by treating our bodies well. If we back up a little bit, I want to talk about a mindset that has been really helpful for me, and that is to have goodwill toward myself. Or sometimes in certain spiritual practices, you'll hear this called something like loving kindness or self-love. A way that I like to care for myself is to remind myself on a regular basis that I am worthy of treating myself well. I am worthy of giving myself goodwill rather than maybe doing some self-criticism, self-judgment, putting myself down, doubting myself, all those negative kinds of things. So part of the scope, if you will, of this goodwill involves treating my body well. And I just encourage you, think about this a little bit, if you haven't started an exercise program for the year, or, if you've been kind of out of practice with taking good care of your body, sit down and just think for a few minutes about, if I was going to help somebody else, work on treating their bodies well, what would I do? What kind of attitude would I have toward them? What kind of attitude would I want them to have toward themselves? And then apply that to yourself. So the first thing that I want to recommend, and you've probably heard this a lot, but that's to drink plenty of water. And a practice I've started fairly recently that I'm finding just in a couple of weeks' time has made a big difference in my ability to kind of wake up well in the morning rather than sort of groggy and out of it, is to drink 16 ounces or a half liter of good filtered water. It hydrates the brain, hydrates the digestive system, etc., and really, for me, has made a huge difference in my being able to wake up more quickly than I used to, and to be able to focus sooner in the day. Before I started practicing this, often, it would take me a couple of hours to warm up and get all the cylinders running in the old brain. And again, this has made a big difference. Highly recommend. I keep that water bottle or another one like it right by my bedside. And when the alarm goes off, shut off the alarm, sit on the edge of the bed, and I drink about half of that before I even get up and get going. and then finish that as I'm starting my day. You do it however it fits for your schedule, but I encourage you to do it, and then refill that as often in the day as you need it. And you probably need it more often than you realize. So pay attention to your body, pay attention to your brain. If you notice you're kind of middle of the day, you're starting to slow down and wear down a bit, try drinking a cup or two of water and just make a note over the course of a week or so to see if that makes any difference. I'm betting it will. So, drinking plenty of water. The next encouragement I want to share with you is to do some kind of exercise or stretching, particularly in the morning if you can. If not, be sure you get in 20 to 30 minutes a day of stretching, and maybe mix it up with some aerobic exercise a few times a week. Now, if you can do an hour, that's great. You might need to work yourself up to that, both because maybe you don't have the endurance, and it might take some time to adjust your schedule and to get yourself in the habit. That's okay. Take whatever time you need, but really try to make this a focus, a part of your goodwill toward yourself and your body. I'll share with you real quickly here a little routine that I do while I'm making my tea is brewing in the morning. It only takes a few minutes. You can stretch it out into as long a period of time as you want. And I learned this actually right here on YouTube from a gentleman named Lee Holden. And I'll put a link to his video in my show notes. If you're listening to this on the podcast, check out the link that I provide in the show notes for the podcast to see his 20-minute or 10 or 20-minute morning routine. That's Lee Holden. So we basically start with twisting and eventually try to increase your range of motion. It helps if you turn your head to look back over your shoulder. You can get a little more range. Be careful, especially if you have problems with your back. You don't want to make those worse. You don't want to create an injury. And you do that for a few times. Then you bring your hands up, palms down, and I'm going to keep them about here to stay in camera range, but you want to extend your arms all the way up and then bring your palms down and bend down into a squat. You don't have to go all the way down to touch the floor, although if you have that range of motion available, get as much stretch as you can with it. And repeat that, hands up, then bring hands down into a squat and back up. Then we want to do a version of tapping, and start with the back of your hand, tapping firmly, but not enough to hurt yourself, right around the kidneys, and then with your hands slightly cupped down the outsides of your legs, then up the insides of your legs. Then you're going to tap your chest, and then your arms down and back up. And again, you're going to repeat this several times. I'm keeping it short here so we can move along. Next, hands, palms down, fingers almost touching, waist high. Bring up and turn the palms up. Reach all the way up, stretch, and then back down. I like to try to do the up motion while I'm inhaling, taking in a good deep breath, and then exhaling as I bring the hands down. Hands turning the palms up, twisting the arms, bending, then bring them back into the waist, palms down, nice soft wrist, then pushing out, then wide circle, back to center. Let me do that again and add the breathing part. So as you're going out, you're going to breathe out. Then as you bring the hands back in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. All right. Then, final motion is feet close together, hands, right hand on top of the left hand, palms up, and then you're just going to make a wide circle, one hand at a time, as you breathe in, and then bring your hand down the center line of your body as you breathe out. Then repeat that with the other hand and arm, breathing in and breathing out. So again, if you want to see the whole routine and you can follow it until you get it memorized, just search in YouTube for Lee Holden morning routine. Should get you to the video, or click the link here provided with this video. So we have talked about drinking plenty of water, exercising. Of course, as I mentioned, add some aerobic exercise. Again, be kind to yourself. If you haven't exercised in quite a while, work up to it so that you don't injure yourself, get discouraged, and quit. Thirdly, get rest. We have all kinds of science backing up the need for rest, and especially at this time in humanity, with everything going on, particularly I'm referring to the COVID pandemic, all the disruption that has brought to our lives. Many of us have experienced tremendous amounts of stress and anxiety and worry. So it's more important than ever to pay attention to and get the quality of rest, the best quality of rest that you can. Now, I'm not a doctor, a physician, or a psychiatrist or psychologist, so I cannot give medical advice. What I will tell you is to look into various supplements and so on that are available. And I'm not going to name any because somebody's going to take that, and try it and it doesn't work and, accuse me of trying to be a doctor or whatever. But the point being, research, ask your doctor, maybe see a nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor, someone who's really tuned into things like, supplements and whatnot that can help you get a good quality rest. Try to get 7 to 8 hours a night consistently, and all the usual things that you hear. Get your room as dark as possible. If you need, get one of those eye shades to help keep the light out. Get your room as quiet as possible, and keep it on the cooler side temperature-wise. We tend to sleep better if the room temperature is a little bit cool. So, lots of water or plenty of water, whatever that means for you and your body type and so on. Exercise, particularly, be sure to do some stretching, at least 10 to 20 minutes of stretching every day. Then plenty of rest. Then I'm going to recommend that you do some meditation. And there are all kinds of different meditation processes that you can find on the internet and use. But try to do at least 15 minutes a day. And again, you might need to work up to that. And what I mean when I say meditation is I practice what's called mindfulness or insight meditation. It's a form of Buddhist meditation. Now, I'm not going to try to make you turn you into a Buddhist, but what I want to suggest is that by practicing some kind of meditation process, you can reduce the stress, which then can help you sleep better. It can help you focus and work better through your day, and it can help you in all the other areas of your life. It enhances every part of your life. And meditation is not about trying to stop your mind from thinking. A lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate because whenever I try to sit quiet, my mind just goes crazy and spins off, and I just sit there and jump from thought to thought. Well, one of the things that meditation is going to help you realize and work with is how busy your mind is. And just by noticing it, right? Just by paying attention, gosh, my mind is just, out of control. It's going everywhere. Seeing it, paying attention to it is going to help you begin to control it, or to ratchet it down, so to speak, dial it down. Over time, as you practice and as you increase the amount of time that you practice in each meditation session, you'll find that your mind will start out busy and wanting to jump around, and after a certain period of time, often about 20 minutes or so, it will kind of naturally start to settle down. It won't do it every time, but the more consistent you are with practicing, and the longer you practice each session, you'll find that your mind will calm down, and it'll have a tremendous calming effect on your body. Sometimes people will use a meditation word. You may have heard the word mantra, and that's what that means. It's a single word that you repeat over and over to yourself. So what you do is you give your mind something to do that will help you decrease your stress level. Sometimes I like to just use the word peace, and I'll just say peace as I inhale and peace as I exhale. And just repeat that over and over and over. Sometimes I like to use the word joy, and joy as I breathe in, joy as I breathe out, especially if I'm feeling a little down in the dumps about something. That can help lift my attitude, lift my spirit some. Recap then, let's drink plenty of water. Let's do some stretching and exercise. Try to work that into our daily schedule. Drink the water first thing in the morning, by the way, and get plenty of good rest, and then practice some type of meditation that will help you reduce the stress in your mind and in your body. Do those things, and your year will be off to a really good, solid start by having goodwill toward your body. Next time, I'll talk about things that we can do for our mental and emotional states to get our year off to a good start. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great week.